Good afternoon, my name is Isabel Kim and I'm here reporting with the SABC. We just came out of regional block where Africa got 4 papers passed and has now started actions to move forward with these papers. I'm here with the delegate from Central African Republic, here to talk about what this means for his country, for the continent as a whole, and its role on the world stage moving forward.
Africa takes a lot of flack for not coming up with their own initiatives and for not creating, generally taking from the rest of the world. And I think that this proves that we are more than capable as a continent of enlisting the help of others and moving forward through our initiatives.
Just the number of papers that we passed today and the collaboration that was going on between the African countries, it shows that we don't want to be the center of the pity of the European Union or from the Americas. Rather, we want to be more sustainable ourselves and not just taking your funding and not telling what we're doing with it. But I think we're trying to be really proactive this time by being sustainable, taking our own steps and just getting our advice as experienced nations, but doing this ourselves. I think that says a lot about our future and our independence.
Here with me now is the delegate from Slovakia, here to discuss the recent papers passed by Africa and what he thinks this means for them.
I think it's absolutely great that they're doing that. It's a great move that they're doing, and I'm really happy to see them progress and become better for themselves.
Real. Now, recently, Africa had 4 papers passed during its regional bloc, and it's excited about its independence and what this means for Africa moving forward. What are your thoughts on this?
They're quite unrealistic. They have, as a general rule, quite authoritarian governments, and they need funding that probably European countries and North American countries will not provide. 15
of the European countries have already agreed to support them given the committee that Africa's arranged. Is this true?
It has been discussed, but we have not worked on a working paper, and it has definitely not been passed as a motion.
The major story here at MonWHO on this Saturday afternoon seems to be the war between brand name and generic drugs, and more specifically, how the delegates are planning on earning the seals of approval while standing up for their country's rights and beliefs. I'm Louise Chong here with Al Jazeera, and I'm here with Peter from Japan. Why do you think that the pharmaceutical companies are so invested in the Asian bloc and not the others?
Well, I think frankly their negotiating tactics with our bloc has been completely unfair, and it's unprecedented. The fact that these 3 major pharmaceutical companies are working together with a generic drug company is something that's unheard of at the international scene.
Can you name these companies?
I know Merck is one, GSK is another, and I believe Pfizer is the third, and then
The 3 big drug companies, Merck, GSK, and Pfizer, seem to be in private conversations for many parts of the afternoon. They proposed that the delegates include a clause in their drafts that would extend the patent length of their brand name drugs, which would drastically increase their power and profits. Countries such as Bangladesh have been promoting domestic industry and trying to support their own drug manufacturing industry, and this is why they oppose this clause. For a while, the delegates seemed interested in order to earn their seal of approval. However, emotions changed by the end of the day, and the companies have since had to reel in their proposal. The delegate from China spoke earlier with me today regarding his alliance formed with Brazil and Russia that was perceived as aggressive by some.
We have had many relations with Russia before, with India before, and honestly, our economies have the same interests. Our interests are pretty much the same, and making sure that certain resolutions are not passed that would be harmful to our economy.
These discussions with various delegates has confirmed to me that there is a disagreement with the pharmaceutical companies, but the regional blocs are working hard to compromise in order to earn the prestigious seal of approval. We will see how talks proceed and if the papers will satisfy the drug companies as well as the delegates.
Pfizer is absolutely appalled and disgusted by the hypocrisy exhibited by pharmaceutical companies, Merck and GSK, and their involvement in clinicals in China, a country that is shown to have disgusting and horrific practices in their scientific trials. Pfizer clearly encourages all countries to prioritize integrity, something that Pfizer strongly values.
In the Americas bloc, 2 different working papers created conflict among South American countries. Brazil and Chile worked hard to create a realistic policy to boost the economy of South America. Meanwhile, the rest of the countries of South America formed a socialist alliance that threatens the economy that Brazil has worked so hard to build.
We're climbing the economic ladder. But you know what? Sometimes we make mistakes, sometimes we missteps, but we're doing a really good job, actually. We're trying to make progress. So the fact that today politics got in the way of progress is really disheartening, and we're really disappointed in the outcome of this conference.
The South American countries are hurting their own chances at development by following a flawed socialist model. I also spoke with the delegate from China about their recent involvement in their alignment of interests with Brazil and Russia.
So I think this whole alliance thing is being taken out of context. We just like to show our support for Russia, as well as Brazil, which is a growing economy, and their policies are great right now. In the face of the increasing imperialism in America, we'd like to associate some things together in terms of policies and resolutions that are made that may or may not be beneficial for us or the United States.
Sharon Harris for BBC News reporting on the developments within Africa in association with European countries. Africa, particularly Central African Republic, has reported to BBC that a coalition has been formed amongst the majority of African countries. This coalition is working together to push forth their amendments and a specific paper which will be discussed amongst all regions of the world.
What we're looking to do is come up with a series of initiatives for this coalition to tackle, to allow Africa to develop from the inside out with the assistance of foreign countries.
Approximately 15 European countries have agreed to support African countries in their exercise. Italy, amongst other European countries, have confirmed that Western European countries are indeed involved in tactics to support Africa. Plans to create boards to provide expertise towards Africa are being set up. However, rumors that funding will be provided towards Africa has not been confirmed. Meanwhile, Russia, which has reached a compromise once more with Italy on their ideals, is wary of international regulation and warns Africa.
I believe that the use of international regulation should be considered very, very carefully.
This is Sharon Harris reporting for BBC News. Good night and good luck.
This is Nathan Gamble, Editor-in-Chief for The Economist. In a globalized economy, alliances are appealing. The media looks favorably upon them. Classical economics preaches that the invisible hand brings success to champions of international cooperation. The European Union demonstrates that reality is more convoluted. Australia is eager to form an anti-corruption advisory committee in Asia. South Korea, Japan, and even China quickly supported the seductive appeal of the proposal. However, no Asian nation consulted the U.S., a disastrous and embarrassing oversight.
You haven't directly talked to the U.S. yet about this plan?
No, we have not, no.
America balked at the idea.
They feels that they could do whatever it is that they would like to do. I understand that they want to conduct a corruption court. However, the United States does not recognize China's or Russia's or Belgium's political proceedings as legitimate per se. So this alliance, we feel, will not be effective by any means, and the positive endeavor this alliance is meant to depict is silly in the eyes of the United States.
China, a harlot of international alliances, backed away from the Anti-Corruption Committee when our magazine reminded them that the committee would disclose all findings to international media. Mm-hmm. Would you be willing to participate in a task force with the United States and its partners?
I think we would be, definitely.
Australia, the press will know whatever Australia is doing.
Mm.
So would you still be willing to be part of a deal with them under those circumstances?
I'm not sure if we would.
China is interested in a veneer of accountability and international cooperation. Actual transparency does not interest them. In the plenary session, MonWHO will not impact healthcare corruption if delegates strive for transient alliances and vain approval.